Have you noticed that remembering people's names seems harder than it used to be? If so, you're not alone. In fact, this is one of the most common concerns people have as they get older. Here's a situation many people recognize. You see someone you've known for years. You remember exactly who they are. You remember where you met. You remember conversations you've had together. But their name? For a few seconds, it's completely gone. And that's usually the moment when worry begins. You start asking yourself, is this normal aging? Is something wrong with my memory? Could this be an early sign of dementia? But what many people don't realize is that there's an important difference between losing information and having difficulty accessing it. Let me explain. Imagine a large library. Every book is still there. Nothing has been lost, but it takes the librarian a little longer to find the right shelf. For many adults over 60, that's often what happens with memory. The information is still stored. The brain just needs a little more time to retrieve it, and that's very different from actually forgetting. In a moment, I'll share 3 warning signs that may deserve more attention. But first, let's talk about why this happens. Many people notice that name recall becomes harder when they're tired, after a poor night's sleep, after a stressful day, or during periods of emotional strain. That's not a coincidence. Your brain uses a tremendous amount of energy throughout the day. When you're mentally exhausted, retrieving information becomes more difficult. Maybe this has happened to you. You can't remember the name of an actor. You think about it for several minutes, then you give up. Half an hour later, while you're doing something completely different, the name suddenly pops into your head. Sound familiar? That's actually an encouraging sign, because it means the information was never lost. Your brain simply needed more time to find it. Now let's talk about when memory changes deserve closer attention. The first sign is difficulty remembering recent events. For example, forgetting a conversation you had earlier that day, or not remembering what you had for breakfast. The second sign is when family members notice changes before you do. They may say things like, "You already told me that story," or "We just talked about this a few minutes ago." The third sign is when memory problems begin to interfere with daily life. For example, frequently forgetting to turn off the stove, getting lost in familiar places, or struggling with tasks that used to feel routine. If any of these situations become common, it's a good idea to speak with a healthcare professional. But here's the good news. Memory is influenced by far more than age alone. Sleep quality matters. Physical activity matters. Stress levels matter. Social connection matters. And so does keeping your mind engaged. Researchers have consistently found that people who stay physically active, continue learning, maintain strong relationships, and remain curious about life often preserve their cognitive abilities much longer. So the most important question isn't whether you forgot someone's name today. The more important question is, what are you doing each day to support your brain health? I'd love to hear from you. Has there ever been a moment when someone's name disappeared from your mind, only to come back later? Share your experience in the comments below.